Okay, everybody, this is Jay Weldy with jrweldy.net, and this is a requested video on the setup of the DJI Ronin S. This is a pro kit that I purchased, so it gives you a couple extra things, one of which is this arm, I believe, that you can put your base unit on, base stand, and use it as a briefcase mode. And it also includes the Raven Eye follow focus or facial tracking system. So that's I believe the only difference between this Pro Kit and the standard Ronin S. Let's get started on the setup, okay? One other thing is I have two of these bases. One's from my Ronin SC that I stole out of the kit because I'm keeping that as a secondary gimbal, and I just switch it back and forth. Okay, so get that out first. Screw on the base handle, and with the Ronin S, they have changed the location of the charging port on the battery, which is now at the base instead of on the SC, which is up top on the gimbal itself. So the gimbal had to be fully assembled to charge the battery. Now you can charge this battery by itself, which is pretty darn nice. Okay, so now you are ready. You've got the unit here on the base, and let's go ahead and unlock the gimbal. And another nice thing with this gimbal is they give you these foam guards on the base and the front to keep those pieces safe. Line up the 6-pin connectors. We're going to go do it this way, and we're going to slide it down. We're going to push this little button in, and you'll see it drop down, and lock it. Now your gimbal is locked to the base battery plate, and I'm going to now unlock the gimbal itself and get it into the position where it's ready to mount a camera. So I'm going to slide this arm up, lock it, and I'm going to just leave these two float. Okay? Now, caveat here is this camera, the FX3, which I've already mounted the quick release, a small lens, because normally I am shooting really wide in the style that I'm shooting in. This handle is the audio handle for the FX3, which comes off. And I normally do not use this unless I'm doing a shotgun mic. But let me readjust this camera quickly. But I'm using the mic system on the A7 III, which is actually a much lower profile, lighter weight handle than this. So you're going to take a little bit of time, obviously, balancing this rig, which I understand people have done successfully. Okay, so now we are going to take this cover off. And I'm in an uncontrolled recording environment right now, so if you hear background noises, you know that's just life, right? So let's go ahead and put the base plate on, and that goes with the quick release handle to the front or to the back of the camera, to the screen side of the camera, and make sure your locks are off, and then press the button to start rolling it in. Now you'll notice that there's a little spin wheel here, a little toggle wheel, and that's to give you fine tuning on the gimbal, which comes in really, really handy. As in my other video, you notice that I did it in under 10 minutes, fully assembling this and balancing the FX3. Alright, so I'm going to just go ahead and lock that now. And as I've said, I am lousy at balancing, but get that camera as far over to this motor as you possibly can and lock it down. Okay, now you'll notice I'm really out of balance on this. So I'm going to move this camera by micro adjusting that thumbnail or thumb screw, and I'll lock that down. Okay, so really the camera should stay in the position that you've balanced it. Like I said, I am not a good balancer. Normally with the Pico Gear mic system, the wireless mic system, this whole setup is a lot shorter, but we're good to go at this point. Okay, so the next thing is the multi-cable, and they give you a bunch of cables with this, and I'm using the Sony micro cable, which is a what I guess they call the multi-cable, and I plugged that not into the USB-C but the micro of the camera for control, and I routed around to the front, and this goes in. There's 3 micro or USB-Cs on the front here, and that camera control goes into the top one. The Raven Eye will go into the bottom with a free port in the center. Okay, so that camera control is hooked up. Now let's talk about the Raven Eye. The Raven Eye is a pretty interesting setup. However, I don't think it's fully utilized to its fullest capabilities as yet. Go ahead and plug the USB-C in to the side that has one USB connector and not the HDMI or other USB-C. It has its limitations. Right now it's not great in lower light capability, but I think it has potential. Okay, so go ahead and just slide that on. It has a cold shoe attachment, and route your wiring and plug that into the bottom USB-C, and that is now ready to rock. Plug your HDMI in to your camera. You may have micro HDMI. I have a full one on the FX3, so I'm using that cable to a mini, and now we're good to go there. Check that you're locked on these, and I am, and I'm unlocked on 2 of the access points on the gimbal. Okay, now something to note here. Yesterday Sony released a firmware upgrade for the Ronin S, and which adds a lot of functionality and a lot of camera features. So I'm using the micro connector on my Sony FX3 because before yesterday's firmware upgrade to the Ronin, you were having problems with using the USB-C on that. From what I understand, a lot of that's been rectified in that firmware upgrade. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open my screen and kind of adjust that a bit. Now, there's a certain level of, make sure your firmware is updated on the Raven Eye, your camera, and the gimbal before you start assembling anything for the first time. Okay, so now I'm ready to roll here, but you've got 2 antennas on the Raven Eye if you've ordered the Pro, and we can bring those out and adjust them a little bit. And one of the things with the Raven Eye is I normally leave these antennas folded in because I'm not that far away from the camera, and they tend to get in the way of gimbal axis for me doing different things. Okay, so we've got 1 axis of the 3 locked, and I'm going to go ahead and unlock the 3rd axis. and now I'm dropping down a bit on that. So you would need to adjust this out a little bit more, but for time's sake, well, that really is kind of dropping. This lock on my Ronin seems to be very, very tight, and it's really difficult to get it exactly in the right spot. And you're going to see me struggle with it, but you know what? I guess this is a fair review on it. And I kind of have to pop it a little bit to get it to move down. And that's not too bad. I'm going to go ahead and lock that. Okay. Next stage. And I'm sorry that this is a little longer than most of my fluff videos. Is now I'm unlocked on all these axes. And now hit the power button. Your lights down here will light up temporarily, and your screen will come on. And this screen is really very, very nice. The other thing you'll want to do is anytime that you set up a camera that's a little bit different, now this is really vibrating on this, you'll want to do a test calibration. And I've got it on super smooth. I'm going to start the calibration. You'll notice that the camera wiggles around. You'll hear some horrible noises. But it's fine-tuning the motors for the weight and configuration of the camera. And I do this every time that I switch out cameras. Alright, that's confirmed. I'm going to go ahead and press the back button. Now my camera, or my gimbal, is not vibrating like it did as I just started it up. This is on. The next stage will be to turn on the Raven Eye, if you have that module, and it'll go red. And then turn your camera on. If you don't do it in these stages, you're going to not get this blue light. So the gimbal first on, the Raven Eye second on, then your camera on, and now you are basically ready to shoot. I'm going to push these antennas back up, and you have some things here. If you swipe down, you'll see what your camera's seeing, and if there's an object or a person there, you can draw a square around that person's face, and the active track of the Raven Eye will do its best to stay with you. I've used it in low light situations with about a 50% success rate. Outside, you've got a 70-75% success rate on that. Okay, let's talk about this piece. I actually prefer it on the left side of the gimbal, and that's upside down. So you risk, if you don't tighten this lock down, you risk this sliding off the rig and overbalancing, and probably, if you're not real quick, losing the whole thing onto the ground. It's supposed to go this way on the right side. So let's do it the right way. For me, it's more comfortable on the left-hand side. Slide that up, and it does have a quick release button underneath, and tighten that down. Now you have the ability to take a second base unit, or another handle of any kind with a 1/4-20 in it, for that matter, and screw it onto the unit, lock it down tight, and you are now ready to shoot. And mode 3 is a float mode, which I generally use most of the time, and use the toggle switch here to move my camera around as needed. But I'm really going to be depending on ActiveTrack a lot more as they do updates to it. Okay, that's the setup and general functionality of the Ronin S.